Hello everyone, welcome to the third edition of Save UNBC Reports. This edition is called Riddles of the Current UNBC President's Employment History, Part 1. But first, I'd like to do a shout out to the UNBC student newspaper, Over the Edge, who are going to be distributed monthly in the Prince George Citizen. We're sure that UNBC will provide the Edge with a wealth of news to report each month. What you see on the screen right now is the front cover of the very first issue of Over the Edge that was published exactly 30 years ago. And yes, that is a real original copy of that paper. Before starting, we'd like to be clear that these videos are not an attempt to discredit UNBC. They're simply an examination of the documented facts. These videos would not exist were it not for the poor oversight and the decision-making by UNBC's leadership during the past 10 or 15 years. We and hundreds of others in Prince George and northern BC invested a great deal of time and effort into building a university that we can be proud of. Save UNBC intends to protect our great university. In the last episode of Save UNBC Reports, we examined the academic history of the current president of UNBC. We learned that there are many inconsistencies based upon publicly available documentation from Memorial University, Yale, and the president's own LinkedIn account, which has been removed. Adding to the puzzle in his academic history, we also found another credible document published by the American Physiological Society stating that the president's affiliation in June 2003 as a member, not a student member, with the John B. Pierce Laboratory, Connecticut. There is no mention of either Memorial University or Yale University. The John B. Pierce Laboratory is a non-profit, autonomous research institute that was founded in 1933, and then later in 1966 it was established with an affiliation agreement with Yale University for sharing their facilities and allowing affiliate appointments. These discrepancies in career history should be investigated by the appropriate bodies, such as the UNBC Board of Governors or by the Faculty Association. On the screen right now, you will enjoy a graphical representation of UBC and the NMP and UNBC. In this video, we're going to examine inconsistencies as they relate to the UBC, Northern Medical Program, and the President's faculty appointment history, information that has been provided by the current President, and confusion surrounding the relationship between UNBC and the Northern Medical Program. As you will see, some are clearly not true. These issues require more transparency and careful examination for their accuracy than what has been given in the past. UBC and UNBC are two distinctly independent BC universities, and they each have their own Senate and board. During the remainder of this video, we're going to establish the following takeaways. It is a fact that the Faculty of Medicine at the University of British Columbia is the only medical school in British Columbia. False. UNBC started a new medical school. That never happened. Fact. The President was appointed to UBC's Northern Medical Program. Fact. The Northern Medical Program belongs to UBC's Faculty of Medicine. In BC law, in British Columbia, the Chancellor must not be employed by a university. A violation of that BC law would be the case if the UNBC President was also the UNBC Chancellor. We're now going to go back to the John Brink interview of 2022, where John Brink interviewed the current President of UNBC. In this segment, the current President of UNBC states that he saw an advertisement at UNBC, the website, that UNBC is starting a new medical school and was hiring faculty to teach general physiology there. This cannot be true because UNBC never started a new medical school. That would not have been on the UNBC website. UBC has the only medical school in British Columbia.
And then you came to Prince George about 18 years ago.
2004. Very funny story, actually.
Yeah.
I was at the lab at Yale, And I got onto the website. I don't even know. I try and think back of why I even clicked onto
It's
UN.
one of those things, right?
Those forks in the road. And
How
so,
could it possibly happen, right?
how could it possibly happen? So I was on the website for UNBC, and I saw this, they're starting a new medical school. So I sort of clicked a little bit more. They're hiring for a general physiologist. That's really interesting. I could do that. And then I looked, the job closes like in the next day or so. So I sent an email along, and the then provost of the day emailed me back and said, you need to talk to so-and-so, if you've got any questions. It was Dave Snadden. So myself and Dave Snadden, who was the founding dean of the Northern Medical Program, chatted. And next thing you know, I'd applied. I showed up here around December of 2003, interviewed for the job, and he called me back in January of 2004, said,
So you got it.
What's interesting about the next clip we're going to watch is the fact that the term interim chancellor is used, and it's used by John Brink and also by the current president of UNBC, who agrees with that term. It would be a violation of the BC University Act because the chancellor cannot be an employee of the university, which the current president is. So you cannot hold that position if you're a UNBC employee.
Now, in terms of yourself, you went from, you came here 18 months ago, and one of the first members of the medical part of university, and then you went through, you were vice president for quite a while, and then the interim chancellor at the same time, and so now you are the president formally.
Formally, as of April 4th.
After watching those two video clips with the interview between the current president of UNBC and John Brink, we have to reestablish some facts here instead of claims. Here is a clip from the Canadian Medical Association Journal. The Faculty of Medicine at the University of British Columbia is BC's only medical school. There was not a medical school at UNBC, only the Northern Medical Program. In 2020, the CBC states clearly that there is only one medical school in British Columbia. It's UBC's Faculty of Medicine, which graduates about 174 family doctors each year. Let's also establish the fact that the current president of UNBC was hired to the Northern Medical Program, which is UBC's Faculty of Medicine's distributed campus. And from 2012, we have a copy of the current president's email signature, which clearly shows that he was a member of the Northern Medical Program of UBC. And in the final slide of this segment, we clearly see that according to the British Columbia University Act, the chancellor cannot be an employee of the university. You can see why there are inconsistencies in the relationship between UBC, the Northern Medical Program, and UNBC in some of the statements being made by the current president. Thank you for watching part 1 of this. Part 2 in the next video will be the conclusion of this serious subject.